make a move and the bunny gets it.
I said, put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
It's showtime.
Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us your true name? You do have a name. My name is Gladiator. How dare you show your back to me? Slave, you remove your helmet and tell me your name. My name is Fun My Comic, and I represent all the campaigns you shadow banned and kicked off your website. Huh? Creators that just wanted to fund, that wanted to be left alone. And we will build a website that is going to bury you all. Oh crap.
Hello there. Welcome to the latest show, the FMC Arena. Episode 1 is this is going to be a regular show on Thursday nights. Already got the first 2 lined up. But the first volunteer I have is let me. I usually have like something I play before somebody comes on. So let me just play something random here. Shoot an arrow like Cupid. I use a word that don't mean nothing, like lifted. I sang on Do What You Like, and if you missed it, I'm the one that said just grab them in the biscuits. Welcome to the show, Seth. Well, you got the dancing squab. There you go. Congratulations. Usually I have like something
color graphic.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Right. So we have Mr. Seth Englehart here from the Crossbones crew campaign that is available right now on Fun My Comic. Let me go ahead and show that page right quick. Right here. Here we go. So this is the campaign on Fun My Comic. Whoop. So Seth, looks like you're doing a pretty good job there. Very compelling. So give us a rundown on the Crossbones crew. I've seen this guy before, but it was in Matthew Fowler's Tiger Blue. And it was like a something in the back. It was like a secondary story. It had a whole bunch of these guys, and he was one of them. Does that sound familiar?
I haven't read that one, although I was familiar with the Tiger Blue campaign. Kid Terror is a character that existed since before I was born.
Right.
All right. He had a company that went through a bunch of different names: Nador, Standard, Pines. They're defunct. And a bunch of their characters were public domain. Almost everybody knows of the Black Terror, and Vaughn's been doing the most popular version of that. We also know, the Project Superpowers version and all that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people forget he had a sidekick.
Right.
Kid Terror. And when I was looking to put together a kid superhero team comic,
yeah,
I love time lost characters.
Well,
Captain
that's what Teen Titans started out as. It's all the kid characters that were like the assistants to, like, you had Kid Flash, you had the Robin,
Mhm.
you had all the assistants that kind of got together in one team, and that was the Teen Titans. So
Yeah,
that does have a presence, definitely.
yeah. I love time lost characters, as I was starting to say there. Captain America, the
Right.
Alan Scott Green Lantern for a while. You get the idea. Um, so I wanted one of those characters. I'm thinking, well,
Hmm.
I could pull a public domain character to the present, and there's my time lost character. And
Right.
since he
Right.
already has experience as a sidekick and all the others are new to it,
Yeah.
he would be the team leader.
Oh, there you go. FMC rules. Thank you, Steven Kruger. Good to see you, man. Agreed. Agreed. So, yeah. So, have you campaigned on other websites like Indiegogo or Kickstarter with this
No,
campaign?
this is my first campaign I'm doing as a Fund My Comic exclusive.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha. Right.
this book will be Kid Terror's origin story, and while I plan to make it an ongoing, the first 3 planned issues are going to introduce the core members of the team, 1 character per book.
Right. 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 You did send me some images. Let me add that to stage. So this is the Crossbones crew campaign right here. So this is on FMC right now. You are a little bit far away from your goal, but you'll get. I'm sure you'll get there. But yeah, this is so your art team. So run down your art team for us.
All right. For the interior art, Joel Souza, he's doing the entirety from the concept art all the way through coloring.
Right.
So, also, the cover is Josh Howard, and he's coloring his own work on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pombo Design did the title logo.
Yeah.
Rick Joseph has agreed to do the lettering.
Right.
On the basis, if this funds, here's my rates of availability. I'm Tom Perfect, you're hired. Provided it funds,
Right. Yeah.
And that just leaves 2 more members of the team who weren't on the visual art side of things. There's Dave Brink.
Oh yeah.
He wrote the script. And then I'm the editor, producer. I came up with the series Bible for it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been editing every step of it. I'm running the whole campaign. And all the work that's been done so far has come out of my pocket.
Well, Dave Brink, you can't get much better than him. He's the writer of Perfect 10, the genuine verse. Really great guy. But yeah, when I saw that he did your script, I was like, oh, sold. You got to start out with a good script first. So it obviously looks like you had an event that happened in the past, and then you have like a time skip. Looks to World War II, maybe.
Yes, World War II. One of the things I did, there were some stories involving pirates. You had La Terre Noire, and some time traveling stuff in the old Nador books. I decided, well, what if the original Black Terror and Kid Terror in the Golden Age of Piracy were the inspiration for the World War II superhero costumes?
Ah, okay.
So first we tell a bit of their story, and then we jump to World War II. We see the origin of the Kid Terror from our team, and then we'll find out how he comes to the present day.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think yes, that's a pretty neat idea. That so the boy who's having to pick up his books is going to be the Kid Terror. But the beginning of it's like another Kid Terror and the Black Terror from like the Pirate Age, I think.
Yep.
That's what you're saying. And so this was the last page is the guy that's going to be inspired by them to pick up the Kid Terror. Okay, I gotcha. All right, I think I'm caught up with you. So is it going to have like a similar power to the Black Terror series? Does it have like the like gas that gives him like a boost? Is it something
He will be using the terror gas. When he's not under its effects, he's just a kid. But
gotcha.
while he's under its effects, because it does wear off, that's when he'll have the strength. That's when he'll be invulnerable.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah, there is a version of Kid Terror in Tiger Blue. I looked it up. So that's where I was remembering it from. So Matthew Fowler's Tiger Blue does have his own Kid Terror in that. So that's where I was conflating it. That's where I was getting it from. Anyway, so I'm really interested in what the kind of like the entomology where somebody kind of what's the seeds that grew into your Kid Terror? What is like the comics that inspired your crew and you as a creator?
Well, it's a mix of comics and Saturday morning cartoons. It's not every Saturday morning cartoon was rooted in a comic.
Gotcha.
But I'm a father of 3 myself, and I know there for a while. Yeah, I'm starting to see some improvement, but there for a while, a lot of the new stuff, my kids weren't even interested, let alone any objections I would have had to it. And
right.
I just sit in the living room, see what the kids pick for themselves, and if I haven't had to yet, but if something came on that I had an objection to, I'd have them change the channel. I haven't had to do that, but I noticed what they gravitate towards.
Right.
And what they've been gravitating towards, for the most part, have been cartoons from the 90s and the 2000s.
There you go.
And I've been taking them free comic book day ever since they could walk. Well, in my case, I carried her, but you get the idea. And every year we go, they're finding less and less stuff that they're interested in. They still like comics in general,
right?
But it's hard for anything new to catch their eye.
Well, it's I had this discussion with somebody about the culture war actually being kind of pointless in a lot of, and follow my logic. I mean, I've had people like just immediately come after me without hearing what I'm saying, but because of the poor writing and the conceptual background of these new stuff that's coming out, and that's just absolutely awful in any way conceivable way, even if it didn't have like the junk in it that we don't want our kids looking at. The bottom line is, because it's propaganda, the children are going to reject it. There's a reason why Captain Planet did not fly. And we're at the height of the some of the best cartoons in history, you know, some of the best run, you know, Hanna-Barbera, you know, the Rankin and Bass and Filmation were in their heyday. And then suddenly this one comes out with like this you know, Captain Planet, and it has, you know, diverse cast, and it has like basically something that they're pushing, which was like environmental causes and things like that. And it fell off, and nobody watched it. As a matter of fact, it became a punchline, and the reason why is because kids smell propaganda a mile off, and they react negatively to it. And so,
And it doesn't matter what that message is you're trying to get across either.
logic, you. Well, thank you, Will. I really appreciate your encouragement. Yeah, jerk. Anyway, uh,
But yeah,
well,
it doesn't really matter what that message is, whether it be ideology, whether it be just straight up educational facts. It's really, really hard to put off. It's like adding flavoring to a bitter medicine. You can still taste it coming through.
exactly, exactly. And it's like the reason why kids won't eat their vegetables. You know, why we instinctual kids will instinctually, despise vegetables, even though they're told it's good for them, right? It's like something that's like being pushed as beneficial for you when you're a kid is automatically anathema because, you're not thinking about long-term health. You're a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just thinking about what's fun now, what's tasty now. Give me the dang chicken nuggies. I do not want to, get that okra away from me, or whatever. Fill in the blank of your vegetable of your choice. But when it comes to quality control, it's like all these things work themselves out. It's like I'm not sweating the Odyssey version that's currently in theaters, and even people are breathlessly saying, well, that's been inflated by the IMAX numbers or whatever, and that we don't want people to think this is the Odyssey. And I'm like, they won't.
Well, one of the things you were asking earlier, this start you asking about the influences that went into it.
Yeah.
I've been reading and really enjoying Super Sons for quite a while.
Oh, I love Super Sons.
That was one of the best new comics.
It was.
So they decided, you know what? In order to get our bisexual Superman, we're going to throw John through time travel shenanigans and make him an instant adult.
Yeah, and at 13. He's supposed to be emotionally 13.
Yeah, it's like, look, if given their stated goals, there's easier ways to do it. Like if they had let the boys age a little bit each year, eventually they weren't far from getting into high school, and that's where kids start exploring relationships.
Right. Exactly.
They could have started that with that, but no, they said, "Oh no, we're not patient enough."
No.
So anyway, I wanted to recapture that feel, but I didn't want to have Diet Superboy with I can't believe it's not Robin.
Right. Well, the issue, I absolutely love Super Sons because anything that reminds me of me and my brother when we were growing up and the rampaging, we were like, we had each other's backs, but we didn't have each other's backs. We're trying to strangle each other. And it's just like that. Boys have like that really unique chemistry where, they're rivals, but at the same time they're bros, and that kind of relationship was just perfectly captured by Super Sons, and so when I can't remember his name, he's like a popular writer for some reason. This guy that created that Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man. I can't remember his name, but anyway, but he's been known to like do stupid stuff like this, and he's the one that aged him up to make a new Superman who's going to be sexually diverse, which anyway. But then you have to ask the question, it's like, why are you wanting a kid to be sexually active? Even if he aged his body up, he's still supposedly emotionally a kid, and you're making him sexually active. And so it's just anything you look at, any angle that you take is going to lead to very dark places. And this is like being pushed to comic book shops and to try to hand to teenagers and things like that. And so that's who it was aimed at. They basically wanted to aim it towards teenagers, And so they're like, oh, we need a Superman we can aim for teenagers. That's going to be Gen Z. And so that's what they did. And it's a travesty what they did to that comic. Just because they wanted to aim at a demographic. And so at the end of the day, all of this stuff is failing because of human nature. And especially the nature of young people and children. And society at large is like, none of us like being preached to. None of us do.
Yeah.
And so even if we agree with the message, we're going to reject it out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so
the vibe of Super Sons before they did this instant aging was essentially Calvin and Hobbes with capes. You have well-meaning kids,
yeah,
getting into trouble the way well-meaning kids do,
right,
and then having to find their way back out of it, and you're throwing superpowers in the mix as an amplifier, which is where you get your comedy from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had Damien, who doesn't know how to be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got John, who doesn't know how to be an adult. And so you had, like, John was pulling Damien back towards the kid side of things, but then Damien was helping John be less naive, because a naive, superpowered kid is the dangerous thing.
Well, they were also a magnification of the dynamic of their parents.
Right.
Damien's dark, brooding, cynical.
Yep.
Amplify that to a kid who was literally raised by assassins. There you go.
Right.
And a control freak, even more so than his dad. Then you've got, the strong, hopeful, optimistic to the point of being naive.
Yeah.
Amplify that. And there you go. It's an exaggeration of the classic world's finest.
Exactly. And it worked because there was a purity to it. There was no whoever did. Yeah, I can't remember who did that Super Sons comic, but they basically the intention of that comic was to write these two compelling young men trying to learn to be grown up,
and with big shoes to fill.
It's universal, and it basically it taught life lessons, and in a very organic way. And so you could give. I mean, I've given those comics to my nephews.
And you mentioned Teen Titans before.
Yep.
And not just Teen Titans. You used to have all sorts of kid superhero teams.
Yep.
When I was a kid, and for the longest time I couldn't find them anywhere for my kids.
Right.
Teen Titans was now Titans. Young Justice, Young Avengers, whatever. Sorry, Young Avengers. That's right. They were older now. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't even find corporate tie-in comics. You used to have the Burger King Kids Club would have comics you could pick up in the stores.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to create something to fill this gap I was noticing for my kids. There's this vibe I love that got killed in the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, well, every team has its trinity.
Right. Right.
Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman for DC. DC's on.
Peter J. Tomasi,
Justice League for the Avengers. It's Captain America, Thor, Iron Man.
Right.
So I just said, all right, I can still do the Calvin Hobbes with capes vibe with a group of 3 friends, and they'll have a larger team around them that cast members all rotate in and out of the books.
Calvin and Hobbes with capes. That's very good. That's very clever. I got about 4 volumes of Calvin and Hobbes over there, so that's kind of like my wheelhouse. But that's I was pushing Secondhand Lions the other day, because Secondhand Lions has this great message about, at the end of the day, Walter decided, the young man, who's coming of age, he decided that he was going to trust somebody for the first time in his life, even though his whole entire life up to that point had been untrustworthy people, including his own mother. And he saw in these older men, he saw something that he wanted to aspire to. And so he decided that, even if all the stories were true, he didn't care. What he cared about was that he wanted them in his life. And so there's that beautiful moment, though, even at the end when he discovers, well, crap, I guess it was true. All of the stories were true. It didn't matter. And there was that moment where he just realized that moment in the car when he's, and his mom was telling all these lies about his uncles or whatever, and kind of confusing him all over again. But then suddenly it's like something snapped in him, and he suddenly realized, he's like, if I walk away from those guys, I will never learn to be a man, because that's the way I can learn to be a man. And so ultimately that message is what you see, what you used to see all the time in like young man's fiction. And that was that, because to young men, achieving adulthood is like is a journey. Women basically, they mature because of their bodies mature, and emotionally they mature way earlier. But to young men, they have to achieve it, and so they have to have that modeled. And you see this all the time right now, where young men are just floundering because they don't have that model to look to, or people to older men to aspire to, or to say, okay, this is what this looks like. If you emulate this, this is who you'll become.
And the few role models that are being propped up on the various political sides are hitting both ends of the extremes. You've got completely weak and ineffectual, and then you've got downright abusive.
Right. And there's nowhere in between.
Yeah, neither of those are anything to be.
Nah. It's like the Gillette commercial. The Boys Will Be Boys Gillette commercial that just destroyed any idea of masculinity as being toxic. And they lost like $2 billion worth of stock in 1 quarter, and the guy's like, well, it was worth it. It was worth it. Why is it worth it to you to completely destroy your image and your whole entire market share? And it's because they want to destroy the next generation, and they'll spend any money, the amount of money, to do it. It's like, yeah, you're abusive, Will. You are. You're very abusive. Anyway, I have to play this every once in a while with Will. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. Here it is. Had to be done. Anyway. So, usually when I have somebody on that's attempting to fill that particular gap, I commend them, because that is such an important, it's an important hole that's in our society right now. Why do all these ghetto young men that made it out of the ghetto, why do they all have Superman, Batman, and Punisher tattoos? It's because when the father wasn't there, they looked for somebody to aspire to, and they found it in comics. And so
comics are the cartoon adaptations thereof.
Exactly. And when when they're trying to take that out of society, and that's why the indie space is so vitally important, is because they are actively attempting to neuter the males in our society, to make it easier for them to push whatever evil plan they got. Because the young males in society is what has always thwarted any attempt to take over. And who are the people who fought World War II? Most of them were under 20 years old.
The fat electrician said in one of the videos he was on that America has a unique way of weaponizing its young men. It finds out what they're into and it weaponizes that. Grenades in World War II. Well, they figured out that, hey, almost every young man's played baseball. We're going to make a grenade that's the exact shape, size, and weight as a baseball. So they all know how to throw it. Then they end up creating bigger ones. Same thing with football when football was popular. Now, video games, all right, we're taking PlayStation and Microsoft controllers and we're just going to go ahead and use those to control drones.
Yep. There you go. There you go. I mean, it's like Audie Murphy was created basically from the starvation and desperation of the Depression era. And you got this young boy who learned to shoot because if he didn't kill something, he didn't eat. And then you had this desperate situation where he had to send his brothers and sisters into foster care because he couldn't afford to protect them. And so he went into that war with the plan of coming back and pulling him out of foster care and bringing them back together. And so when he was over there doing that incredible stuff, that like superheroic stuff that eventually made its way into Captain America, that's how awesome it was. When he was over there doing all that stuff, he was doing it for his brothers and sisters. That was his motivation. And so, I mean, standing on the back of a flaming tank destroyer, killing 50 Germans with a machine gun while you're calling in strikes near your position, and then walking away from the thing when you run out of ammo and the thing blows up behind you, that's John Wick stuff. Okay, I mean, that's like Rambo stuff, and this dude actually did it. I mean, the documentation's there. But he did it all. When he got back, the first thing he did was get buy a house for his brothers and sisters and bring them back together under one roof. And so, you know, when the young men are like the most powerful force in our society. And, you know, it basically, right now, they're being like misused and wasted. And so any candle you can light in the darkness that's going to help them find their way is we got to try. We got to do our best to do it. Like now people can't eat wheat, speak volumes, remove warning labels. Yeah, everybody's afraid. Everybody's allergic to gluten. When did that happen, right? But you got a young generation that just doesn't have aspirational figures. They don't have any idea how to get there. And so, what is like the main message that the Crossbones crew is going to teach this next generation, in your opinion?
Well, first, I'm just looking to give them characters that they can have fun with in a world they want to play in. And then as plot lines occur themselves, I'll find the message in that. I'm not going to try to shoehorn anything particular in.
Right.
You have to start with the story and then find the lessons, not the other way around.
Exactly. But if you tell a story that's a hero's journey, then the advantageous messages are going to be there automatically.
Yeah,
naturally.
You can find things in there. And we're keeping that in mind at every step, even if it's small little things like, for example, when the tear gas was developed naturally in World War II, the first thing was, oh, well, let's try this on some soldiers. Well,
right.
Dave and I went back and forth on that a little bit. Dave's like, well, let's not have any of those soldiers that is tested on die. because younger kids aren't going to be able to. That's a little dark for them. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't want kids to go around mixing random stuff and huffing the result. So let's at least make it so they were gravely ill. And we came to that agreement that he hadn't thought of that part.
Well, at the same time, children's literature used to be dangerous. I mean, the Atreyu's horse drowning in the swamp of sadness, Artax. I mean, we had the Black Cauldron where, Yurgi sacrificed himself, and something like that.
Mother died, Optimus Prime died.
Yeah. Bambi's mother. I mean, we're talking about some traumatic crap, that was in children's literature. I remember when they had like horror content that was aimed at teenagers and children.
Goosebumps, Tales from the Crypt.
Yes, exactly. And it's like these days it's like, oh, we don't want to we don't want to traumatize. I mean, I'm sorry I had nightmares when I was a Gen X from stuff that I watched. But you know what? When life hit me later on and I saw actual horror, I was able to handle it. I was able to function. I was able to, process it. These days, they've neutered everything so much and made everything so, like, protected and wrapped in foam that anything negative happens to these kids, they're completely devastated and immediately, they got PTSD over nothing. And it is because they haven't had that in their literature to help them process. Because this world will show them horror. This world will show them death. This world will show them the ending of things. This world is a rough place to live. And so you're not doing them any favors by removing things that are going to help them process this world, a little bit better.
Now, one thing I would like to clarify real quick. This isn't for kids. It's all ages. And part of the reason for that is in order to make it happen, I have to crowdfund it. Well, backers aren't usually little kids. Right. So I have to give everybody a reason to back. So I've got something in here I want kids to read this, but I also have stuff in here so that adults who are nostalgic over the Saturday morning cartoons will find a fun new story that hits all the right notes that they remember.
Right. Absolutely. By the way, let me show this right quick. This is the Substack for Crossbones crew. If you want more information and updates, that's the place to go.
Yeah, I like with Substack, you've got your combination blog, email newsletter, and social media site. So I can do notes that go out to all my followers, my subscribers, which is free to subscribe. They get the entire long form post of my articles in their inbox to read at their leisure. So if all you want to know is what's happening with the book now, every week I send out an email. I send out an email with that. And if you don't have an account, you don't follow, you don't subscribe, you can still go straight to crossbonescrew.substack.com and see what the latest posts are.
Right. Yeah. 1 second. So like the sidekicks of Black Terror. Yeah, that's exactly what he is. Yep. I like this. I used to mix random stuff and look at me now. See? You can tell back to Dave and say, see, Will, see? There you go.
Now, while I do use public domain material such as Kid Terror, I also have a lot of brand new characters, whole cloth new.
Right. Gotcha. Well, I mean, otherwise, what would it matter? I mean, what would it matter? If you're not, I mean, that's the problem we got today is everything's rehashed and warmed over. Nothing's like original. And And even if you're going to take something that is in like public domain, it already has a track record, then at least do something unique with it. And they don't even do that.
Exactly. And
So-
not just, hey, let's do a slasher horror film, because everybody's doing that.
Right. There you go. That's pretty interesting. The phenomenon that's happened this year. We've had 3 movies that topped the charts in the movie theaters, and that were created by YouTubers for micro budgets, and yet they were to the level that people basically bought tickets to see them multiple times in the theater. You know,
Well,
Iron Lung, Obsession, and Backrooms, and
Glitch is building up shows, just
Yeah.
entire series, and starting off on YouTube.
Yeah.
And now they've got one that looks like it's going to be competition for them, which is going to be welcome.
Right. There's a Disney animator that made a one called Mary Sue. It's about a typical modern female protagonist, super, do everything well, a female. And then it's like the reality of that. What happens if somebody like that tried to do the things that they're like, she tried to beat somebody up, and she was just like beating on this big old slab of muscle, and he was kind of looking at her like, "Are you done?" Which is what would happen if and now in like the Odyssey, they're trying to convince us that 5'1", 120 some pound, Elliot Page, whatever you want to call it, is it can be be a Roman, or be a, wear armor and be a soldier, and it's like every single meme that they made with on X basically came true when you see the reality of it on the screen. And people were supposed to be like, "Oh, okay, well, that makes perfect sense to have a 5'1", 120 something pound soldier." I mean,
Well,
sure.
The problem isn't having people who aren't in the conventional role. It's not being clever about it.
Right.
If you're going to convince me that, say, a 4'5" dude is going to win a boxing match with somebody 7 foot, you're going to have to give me a compelling reason to believe that. You're going to have to do something I did not expect.
Exactly. And I mean, some of the ridiculous fights that I've been seeing that they're doing with these, and you see the stunt man that's fighting with them, having to pull their punches, having to slow them down just to fit the choreography, and
conventions can be defied only if you recognize that conventions did not spring into existence in some sort of vacuum.
Right.
There's a reason those conventions are there.
Yeah.
Understanding that reason is what allows you to define it.
Exactly. And when male and female will have very defined roles, okay? Such as, this is the example. So, it's, there you go. That's conventional. There you go.
Yeah, the problem isn't that the roles exist. The problem is when you make them so rigid an individual cannot be an exception, or that someone can't aspire to break that mold.
Right.
You can't make them rigid, and you can't see one as lesser or greater.
No.
When we've got roles that complement each other.
Right. And so what all we've had in the last 10 years is So
Speaking of which, we need some cheese now to go with all that wine.
yeah, we do. We definitely do. Anyway, well, so this is Crossbones Crew. It's available now on Fun My Comic. If you want the updates, Substack is right there. All the chats should have a link to the campaign in them. If you want to click it and check it out. And Mr. Seth Englehart and crew, looks like they're putting together something very special here, and you don't want to miss out. And so,
I love the crew I was able to put together.
Yeah,
I knew being a first-time campaigner, I wanted to eliminate all the points that things could break down, give people a reason to trust, reason to back. So I knew I wanted to experience people, but I was blown away by the caliber of talent that responded back.
Yeah,
Dave Brink, Joel Souza. I mean, his art speaks for itself. Josh Howard. Yeah, it's an all-star team with just me as the exception.
Well, and
altogether.
Well, vitally important to all of it is to get in the right script. And Dave Brink is one of the best we've got going right now. That Perfect 10 series is amazing. It's better than anything I've seen in the mainstream in years or more. So essentially you start out with the right, base ingredient. Because you can, Supergirl proved that you can slap a whole bunch of special effects and throw money at something.
And even use a popular property.
Yep, and if you don't have somebody that knows how to write a script at the beginning of it, then it's going to fail. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be.
By way of contrast, you had Guardians of the Galaxy, obscure property.
Yep.
But the team on that movie knocked it out of the park.
Yep, and it was a great script. And so, I mean, that it's not brain surgery, folks. You start with a good script. Then even if the art isn't like top tier, it's still going to be entertaining enough to sell. But you basically, if all you've got is the art, then people are going to it's an art book, basically. So that's one thing that I really try to emphasize is that you got to start with that basic building block of a good script. And you got Dave Brink. I mean, that's starting at the top as far as I'm concerned. So, so yeah, that's an instant back from me. I say Dave Brink is the scripter.
It has 32 pages in full color.
Yep. I honestly think him and Von Klaus are like 1 and 2 for me in CG space for best writers. Maybe Perberg is in there. But all his scripts, the artist formerly known as Narwhal. But man, his scripts go dark places. I mean, he's a happy-go-lucky guy, but his scripts are like all just so dark.
Have you ever seen anybody compare? Excuse me if I butcher these names. I've only read them, but Junji Ito versus Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Ito's this happy-go-lucky young guy doing the darkest, creepiest horror you've ever seen. Miyazaki's this old, grizzled, depressed war veteran doing these beautiful, happy-go-lucky children's wonderlands.
Right. Yeah.
Very optimistic work.
Well, I don't know. Maybe one has like darkness out in his life so he can have light on the inside, and you got one that's like got light on the inside so he can be darkened out in the world. I don't know how that even works, but
I think with Miyazaki, at least, he's seen the darkness enough to appreciate the light.
Right. Maybe he's writing what he wishes that his life was, or what he wishes he could see in his life. That's definitely a motivating factor. Anyway, so this has been the first FMC Arena episode. No opening crawl tonight, folks, but we we basically have somebody that's going to be working on it. So next show that comes around, we should have an opening crawl and to be better prepared. But this show is next week. It's going to be the Galaxy guys, the Galaxy Memorial guys are going to be here. Levi Skeen and his group. And so make sure that you check out Crossbones Crew. It's got a good script. It's got good art. It's got a very interesting premise and a great character from the golden age of comics. And so check it out. It's got all the ingredients for being an awesome comic. And so if you buy it for your loved one, it's on all ages. And it sounds like you guys have got the right idea, and you got the right intention behind it. And I'm highly interested in seeing what you guys come up with.
And if you like Josh Howard's work, his cover is exclusive to the campaign. Once the campaign's fulfilled, a new cover will be commissioned for the catch-up tiers on future campaigns for anything direct to market. So if you want Josh Howard's work, you got to jump on this.
There you go.
And this right here's the original inks for the cover.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. So be sure to check that out, everybody. And we will see you next Thursday night, 7:00. And so where are you heading next, Seth? You got any shows?
I know. I had Vaughn was asking who wanted on, and I replied, but we haven't set a date for that.
Okay.
And I'm looking for more places to go on. I've found quite a few shows already.
Okay.
So yeah, always looking for somewhere else to be.
The promo show game is starting to come back. It kind of went away for a little while, but I'm starting to see a lot more shows. Like the Friday night guys.
I've been on the Friday nights. Don's got the studio.
Yeah.
This is starting up here. Here in addition to his Fun My Comic duties, he wasn't here tonight. Luke's been doing Nerd Bacon again.
Yeah. Well, he's hopefully he'll be able to continue that, but he's trying to find a job right now, so he's kind of working. He's kind of watching.
He juggles a lot.
Yeah, he does. He really does. I think he had like a space comic. He's got a orc fantasy comic, and he's got his hybrids that he's working on. And so,
and on top of all that, he's a pastor.
He's a pastor of a startup. Yeah. So
yeah, I've been a pastor.
And he runs
I know
FMC.
How much you do not see that goes into that.
Yep. And he's the chief head moderator of FMC, and so I don't know how he does it. I got no idea how he does it. But,
probably with too little sleep.
I'm thinking so. He does kind of look like he's packed his bags under his eyes there. So, bless his heart. But yeah, so just pay attention to space. Nerd Bacon is going to hopefully be back next Thursday at 9. And then the show's going to be at on Thursday on 7:00. So we're going to try to kind of double whammy on Thursday. It's going to be FMC day, I guess.
And I see Will saying he's got a new episode starting in a few minutes. If y'all want,
all right,
haven't had enough, you can go follow him over.
Yep. Check out Creators Outlet. Bacon. Yeah. Bacon. Anyway, that's all we've got for tonight. Check out Crossbones Cruise, and we'll see you next time on FMC Arena. So enter the arena. Let me know when you want to come on, and we'll get you on. So have a very good night. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.